Google is removing some of its automated search suggestions ahead of the US presidential election. The tech giant is making the change to avoid results that may be seen as biased towards a political point of view. To explain further, we're joined by Image Matrix technology editor Djuro Sen. Djuro, what's this about?
Good morning, Tim. Well, it's about autocomplete. So, you know, when you're typing away on the computer, looking up your own name, Tim, well, during the election, when you're looking up Donald Trump and Joe Biden, some of the autocomplete is based on what a lot of people have been searching for. So some of these things could be pretty crude and it could be seen as biased, you know, maybe along the lines of funding and other things like that. So what Google has decided to do is change that autocomplete and pull out anything that could be seen as biased. So now we have a cleaner way of doing it. You know, autocomplete came about as a way to make it easier for us to search, and also showed what other people were searching for. But in the last election, there was some criticism that maybe that Hillary Clinton got a better run of it back in 2016. So obviously Google and the other tech giants want to crack down before the election on any sort of hint of bias, because they want a free and fair election. But after going through some of the scanning last night on my computer, looking up Donald Trump and Joe Biden, I didn't see anything that would have been seen as political bias. So it's already starting to work, and they'll obviously tinker with it as time goes on. But yeah, so autocomplete will be stopping short of any sort of bias. Well, that's the plan anyway.
I try not to put my name in because generally I find people bagging me. I'd rather not know about it.
I did search for you last night, Tim, and it's all very, very good.
Oh, thank you, Djuro. The money's coming later. But look, this is a bit of a game changer, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, the question is, will it be expanded to other countries as well? So, for example, Australia, New Zealand, and I also put in Scott Morrison, the Australian Prime Minister, into the system. And it also came up pretty clean as well, because, yeah, in the past I've looked at other searches and there's some wild stuff that comes up as suggestions. So you got to wonder what most people have been doing, because the suggestion is based on what a lot of people are thinking and searching for, as well as what you might be doing as well. And I went through that and that was reasonably clean. Also did Daniel Andrews. That one was a bit more. There was stuff about resignation and stuff like that in there. And then, of course, I did Jacinda Ardern from New Zealand. And funnily enough, most of it was about a personal life, and only one down about leadership, very low down. So interesting the way that was handled. And I think I went to Boris Johnson as well. And you wouldn't believe it, at the bottom of the Boris Johnson one, Tim, it turned up Tim Tams as one of the results. So it obviously gives you an idea of what people are searching for. So that's what it's been about. So Google's had to do some work to make sure this doesn't pollute the search timeline. You can still search whatever you want. It's just not going to suggest to you what to search for.
We've got a big story, of course, kicking around at the moment. Qantas and Virgin coming together, and Hello World and Flight Centre coming together, attacking the Queensland government and the border. Did you put in Anastasia Palaszczuk?
No, I didn't get around to it, mate. I thought that one could blow up the computer, but
yeah, that would have been
I'm going to try that one later on.
Yeah,
that's obviously a huge issue in Australia. But I will get. I mean, I'm going to get around to that, and I think could you imagine some of the searches there? So there might be some work to be done on Google's behalf.
All right, sticking with Google, and Android 11 is out. Are there many changes?
Well, there's not too many on the surface, but I've got to say it's pretty impressive. Now, as always, the Pixel phones, if you have them, which are Google's made phones, will get some special features, including a live view. So if you get lost in the park and not really good with maps, you can actually hold the phone up and look in the direction of where your friend is and track them down that way. It's really cool. That'll probably be rolled out to other Android phones later on. But yeah, the Pixel phones get it first. A few other manufacturers as well. But on the surface, it looks pretty similar. They've done a lot of work under the hood, Tim, in terms of security. A few other cool features here and there in usability. You'll see some stuff that you would have already seen on iOS already in terms of security. But I've been really impressed so far with how it's worked. I downloaded it last night, and I think in relation to Google fixing things up particularly with apps that ask for permissions to do things. So if something is recording you with a microphone, then it may be asked again to enable the microphone. So it's not like you sign off once and for all for an app to be recording you. It absolutely has to get permission time after time when it's a critical thing like the camera or the microphone. So I think it's pretty good. But I want to show you what I really enjoy using on this Google Pixel phone right here. So they've added something on the home button, which is the power button of the sign. It was really cool. So if you long press on it, it brings up all your home stuff. So I can control the lights here in the studio. I won't turn them off just yet, but everything's right there. That's a long press. So they've really thought about using this phone in a more clever way, and I think it's pretty good. But once again, look, you won't probably see this on other phones. It's got screen recording at last built in to Android phones. Now, if you've got a Samsung and stuff like that, you've probably got a lot of this stuff already because they do their own bits and pieces. But if you are keen for Android 11, get onto it because there's a lot of security benefits. Don't waste any time.
You can't go and order yourself a bacon and egg roll through that process, can you?
I think you can. You just got to talk to Mr. Google or Mr. Google or whatever.
Okay. Now, there's a new way to experience the Tour de France. I love it. It's fantastic to watch. You're one of the lucky few to try it. Yeah.
NTT, who run a team and obviously supply all the technology to the Tour de France with data, have come up with a global stadium. Now, you can download it from the App Store, but you need a special code. So I'm lucky to get one of the few beta codes, and I've tried it out last night. So this is augmented reality, Tim. So that's different from virtual reality where you're sort of closed off. So you can get your table at home and you can throw the full 3D map of the mountains, the flat parts of the race, whatever you want, and see in real time how the race is going. I tried it out last night. It is absolutely phenomenal. And, the thing is that you can get your iPad or your phone and you can move it around to see closer to what your favourite cyclist is doing. But I think this is a little bit of a game changer in terms of using this sort of technology. Just brilliant stuff.